Hit it.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was a revelation for Spidey and film fans alike. Not only did it raise the bar for animation with its unique art style, but it also told a refreshingly original and endearing origin story. And it did all of this while boldly taking a gamble on a lesser-known iteration of Spider-Man, the young, Brooklyn-born and raised Miles Morales. With its sequel, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse swinging its way onto digital platforms today, here's a quick recap of the first film to get you up to speed, so you're ready for Miles' latest adventure. We're introduced to Miles just as he is getting used to his new prep school, mainly to appease his doting parents.
Dad, I love you.
That's a copy.
In typical rebellious teenage fashion, Miles then sneaks out late at night to meet his uncle, Aaron Davis. They skulk around the New York City subway tracks, spray painting graffiti. Quality family bonding time. It's also here that we see Miles get bitten by a radioactive and, I guess, interdimensional spider? Upon discovering he now has arachnid-like powers, Miles returns to the scene of the bite, only to stumble upon the underground base where Kingpin is building a super collider. We learn that this tech can function as a gateway to parallel universes, and has been constructed by the crime lord in a desperate attempt to bring back his late wife and son. Chaos ensues as we see a very literal-looking Green Goblin fighting off Spider-Man as he attempts to disable the machine. Amidst the mayhem, Miles nearly falls to his death, only to be caught by Spider-Man, who learns there's more to Miles than meets the eye.
You're like me.
That's impossible.
Peter is gravely wounded in the fight, and after sensing Miles shares the same Spidey powers, he decides to give him the flash drive that can be used to disable the collider, warning that the machine could destroy the city. This would end up being his last heroic act as Spider-Man, because, whoa. And just like that, Miles is now the one and only Spider-Man. In his attempt to train and take on this new burden of responsibility, he accidentally breaks the flash drive in the process. If only he'd backed up the data to the web. A distraught Miles goes to Peter Parker's grave, where he meets Peter B. Parker, not to be confused with this universe's Peter, who is still very much dead. We quickly learn that this version of Peter has dealt with his fair share of hardship and prefers slinging pizza pies instead of webs. Miles manages to convince Peter B to mentor him and retrieve the data needed for a new USB drive. In a high-stakes heist, Peter and Miles manage to infiltrate Kingpin's research facility. Along the way, they encounter the lead scientist on the Super Collider project, Olivia Octavius. They escape the lab and come across yet another Spider-Man.
It's Gwen, actually.
Gwen takes Peter and Miles to the Spider's Den, the Web of Shadows, if you will, or just Aunt May's granny flat. Here, they meet...
My name is Peter Parker.
My name is Penny Parker.
After exchanging some spider pleasantries, Miles fears he is out of his depth and goes home only to find out that, oh no, his Uncle Aaron is the Prowler. In a state of panic, he returns to the newly formed Spider Gang to inform them of this development, but they're then ambushed by some familiar faces from Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. This culminates in a showdown between Miles and the Prowler, where Miles, left with no other options, reveals his true identity to his uncle. Aaron's shock and hesitation leads to him being shot and killed by Kingpin, and in turn, sees Miles essentially have his "with great power comes great responsibility" moment. Couple that with a pep talk from his dad, and he's now ready to embody the heroic persona of Spider-Man. After retrofitting one of Peter's old suits with the blessing of Aunt May, Miles joins the rest of the Spider Gang at the Super Collider, where he helps them all return to their respective universes. But not before helping Peter come to his own Spidey senses and convincing him to right his wrongs back in his own world.
Not bad, kid.
Miles is then left to face Kingpin, who refuses to back down. Finally embracing his new powers, Miles ultimately defeats Fisk and saves the day. But it wouldn't be a superhero movie without a post-credit scene, and of course, we're given a teaser for the next film with the introduction of yet another Spider-Man.
Where do you want to go first?
Let's start at the beginning, one last time. Earth 67.
Fast forward a year and Miles has become more comfortable in his Spidey skin. New York City has seemingly embraced him as their new friendly neighborhood hero, and he's managed to stay on top of school, for the most part.
And a B in Spanish.
Ooh, okay.
Miles,
Are you trying
mira,
to kill
eso es
me?
imposible.
He even has his own arch nemesis now. He's no Green Goblin or Doc Ock, but he's pretty menacing in his own right. Oh look, Gwen is back. What could she want? Well, as it turns out, she came back to stop... Oh, never mind, that'd be a spoiler. Okay. Remember the part where Miles is escaping from a bunch of spider people in the multiverse? Well, they're all chasing after him because... Oh, wait, no, that'd spoil it too. Let's just say you should now be primed and ready to watch Miles web-sling his way across the Spider-Verse. And if you're still left wondering, What does a bagel have to do with the creation of a villain that poses an existential threat to the very fabric of the multiverse? Who exactly is Gwen on the tail of? And just how many versions of Spidey are there out there? You can find out the answers to all these questions and more in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, available to watch on digital platforms right now. For all things Spider-Man, keep it locked to IGN.